Welcome to the end of May. I have had a terrible reading month. Everything has been just like basically 3 stars or less. My average rating is in the trash for May. My overall might be fine. I'm not going to go do the math on that right now. I will look it up later, but I'm pretty sure my May average rating is close to 3 stars because everything sucks or it's just not what I want. At this point, it has to be me. I have to be the problem. And that's fine. We all go through slumps. I just wish mine wasn't happening. Okay, so I was thinking a lot of things. I did hit my goal, I think, of reading 10 books, which is my average goal per month is about 10. I do like hitting more, but that's usually 10 is about what I can do pretty comfortable. However, because I'm insane and I like to gamify things, and because I'm so mad that my reading month has been terrible, I'm gonna spend the next, we're gonna probably call this a 24-hour reading vlog. It is currently 3 p.m. and I do not have the ability to stay up for 24 hours because I'm old. I can't do that. I need my 8 hours. So it's not like a proper 24-hour reading vlog, but I am going to spend the next 24-ish hours reading my arcs that I have 7 outstanding arcs, one of which is overdue, my bad. The rest are all coming out. I think the first one's in July. So I'm not super behind on anything else except for that one, which ironically is not the one I'm prioritizing because it's already late. So I might as well prioritize the others. So what you may ask is on the list, we have You Don't Belong Here by Megan Miranda, The Bridesmaid by Kate Quinn, We Love You Bunny by Mona Awad. So excited. And also very, very concerned isn't the right word, but like Bunny didn't need a sequel. So like I'm hyped that I got this, but like, I don't know if it was necessary. With Friends Like These by Alyssa Lee, Hit Me With Your Best Charm by Lily Vale, which I was so excited because it was a sapphic romance. I thought it was gonna be really cute, and it probably will be. I loved her Christmas romance that I read earlier this year or late last year, I forget. But it's a YA romance, which I don't love, so I found that out after I got the arc. My bad. And then What Hunger by Catherine, of course my Kindle just cut that off. Catherine Dang. And then the one that's overdue is The Serial Killer Support Group by Saratoga Schaefer. So I'm already aware that I can read a Megan Miranda in one sitting, so I'm probably going to start with that because I'm confident that I can start that within the next hour and finish it by like 8 p.m. So that for sure I'm reading. I will probably pick up the Lily Vale because romance and YA together, both of those things means it's going to read pretty quickly. So I think I can get through those two. And then after that, I will probably do it either based on release date or page count of what is remaining, just because, you know, if the goal here is more to just inflate my numbers for the sake of inflating my numbers, I want to get through what I can get through, and then as opposed to like picking the one that I might want to sit with for a while. Although there is a chance maybe I should go. I think these are all thrillers except for the romance. Like I think they're all thriller horror. I don't think it's anything I'm going to want to like digest. So, except for maybe We Love You Bunny. We'll see. But the vibes are immaculate right now. Because I don't know if I've actually mentioned this directly, but like I basically live in the woods. So when it rains, the vibes are so just like cottagecore, cozy. It's dark and moody and it's just, oh, it's so good. I had the door open because it was raining and now it stops and now I'm just letting in the humidity. Whoops. But it's just ideal. If the sun comes out tomorrow, I will be reading at the pool. It's still slightly too cold to go in the pool because in the South we don't heat our pools. The sun will do that for us, but not fast enough at the beginning of pool season. So all that being said, I think I'm going to start with the Megan Miranda, but I will put a little title card so you know what I'm reading. I'm going to go cozy up with the cats and sit on my couch and ignore my TBR, because that's what this is. This is my TBR. And that doesn't even include the like 6 books in my basket that I always pretend are coming up next, and they never are. Except for The Will of the Many. I've talked about it in like every vlog I've done this year, because I've done none. The Will of the Many is finally happening. That will also be a vlog, but it is my book of the month pick. No, although, do we want to talk about the book of the month drama? We can talk about it later. Okay, Will of the Many. It is my book club pick for June. I'm real excited. As for book of the month, I'm chronically online anyway. That's a problem. However, I was impressing myself with my chronically online yesterday, because the book of the month drama, are you kidding? Why are they platforming James Frey? Are you joking? I canceled my membership because I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, I've only been a member for like 2 or 3 years. I think it's 2022. Anyway, so I was enjoying it, but like this year, I just feel like they have missed the mark. Like, do they know who their audience is? I'm old enough to remember the James Frey thing, and I don't feel like I'm that old. And I guess their marketing is switching to Gen Z, which is fine. I do think Gen Z is probably too young to remember the James Frey incident, because I myself was like 14 or 15. But they knew what they were doing. They called him a literary bad boy. Like, are you kidding? Gross. And then they appear to be doubling down. So, hard pass. Anyway, that is a 10-minute ramble to avoid reading. So I'm going to go start a book now. See you later. I'm so tired. I finished the book. What the hell is the name of it? You Belong Here? Oh my god. Oh, of course. Okay. You Don't Belong Here by Megan Miranda. And even though it is 9:15 and therefore roughly 6 hours after, I actually didn't start reading this until closer to 5 o'clock, because literally as soon as I finished filming that intro and I was like, okay, I'm gonna like go read, I'm so excited. And then I turned on YouTube for some background noise. I'm really into Waffle the Otter. I don't know if you're familiar with him. Oh, this is not gonna turn, oh, it's too tight. But Waffle the Otter, he's so precious. Anyway, so I went to go turn on Waffle, and I saw Curtis Connor had uploaded a new video that was an hour long, and it was a Neil Breen recap. So I'm like, okay, I have to watch this. P.S. If you are not watching Curtis Connor, he's hilarious. But more importantly, the Neil Breen, I cannot. It's amazing. So I had to do that, and then I had to have dinner, and like, you know, blah, 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 blah. So, not that you care how long it took me to read this book, but it took me like 4 hours. And I'm happy to say I had a good time. It's only 3 stars, but like for Megan Miranda and for like just kind of a classic domestic thriller, 3 stars is what I expect. So it met my expectations. It was good. The general gist is we are following a girl, a woman, single mother. Her name is Beckett, and her daughter Delilah is going to her old alma mater. And while Beckett was at school, there was a scandal. Her roommate was accused of murdering people, and then her roommate disappeared. So then Beckett became the kind of scapegoat of like, you had to have helped her, you had to have known what was going on, like, you know something and you're not telling us. And so she really didn't want her daughter to go there, but she wasn't super honest about her past, so Delilah had no reason to think she couldn't go there. So, you know, there was a lot of just like, no one's talking about it. Also, Beckett's parents work at the school, they used to, they're retired now, they live nearby. So like, there was just kind of a lot where no one was telling each other everything and everyone was keeping secrets. And it was fun. Um, you spend, I think it's broken up into 3 parts. At basically every section break, I had a different expectation of where the story was going, and I really liked that. I thought it was a good way to keep me on my toes, even when, with most domestic thrillers, if you're paying enough attention, usually you can suss out the culprit or the motive, or you can get a feel for what's going on. And that is true here, which, is fine. But what I really did enjoy is that, for the first third, I was like, okay, this is where the story's going. And then in the second third, it's like, oh no, wait, this is where we're going. That's a plot twist. I didn't see that coming. And I really didn't. The one in the middle actually did, really kind of got me. Maybe I should have seen it coming, but I didn't. And then the last third was probably my least favorite part. And I don't think it was bad. I think if the ending had been a little bit stronger, it would have been a 4. But I'm very happy with what it was. I would consider this a success far more than most of the books I've read this month. Because that's the thing. It's not, I know I was just complaining about my star rating because I just feel like I haven't had a good 5 in a long time. I think I've rated some 5s, but I do not think I've had a life-changing 5 in a long time. And that's really what I'm craving. And I'm really hoping it's The Will of the Many. I'm putting too much pressure on that book, that poor book. So my problem lately has been I'm going into these books expecting a rating of, 3, 4, or 5, and then they're all coming back lower than what I was expecting. So it's not just that my rating is low, it's that my ratings aren't meeting my expectations, which is why I think I'm the problem. Except for this. This, I expected to be a 3, and it was a 3, and I had a good time. I definitely think if you like Megan Miranda, this is probably a good one. I've only read 2, so I'm not a great judge of just if this is standard for her or not. What was the other one I read? I feel like I got compared to The Yellow Jacket. The Only Survivors. I also really enjoyed that one. I liked that one a little bit more. This, I feel like in the before chapters, there wasn't a ton, which I really actually liked. I was a little concerned that there either wasn't going to be enough of the flashbacks, or because I'm not a huge fan of the every other chapter method, and I was afraid that's what this was going to be, so I was glad that it wasn't. But I do think I needed just a little bit more. I felt like the before chapters didn't give me enough information. There was a couple times when they were talking about there was this game that was played in early autumn every year on campus, and the way that Beckett talks about it in these past chapters, there was more than just the campus kids out there. There was a second secret game going on. And I don't feel like I got a great explanation as to what or why that was, or why Beckett was sort of participating in this game before she went to college. I know she grew up there and very specifically grew up on campus, and therefore knew her way around, and knew about this tradition, and knew how to infiltrate. That all makes sense. It's this kind of there was a secondary game, and I don't feel like I got a lot of information on that. Maybe that's a me thing, totally possible. I recommend it. I think if you like Megan Miranda, I recommend it. If you like domestic thrillers, I had a good time. So now it is 9:20, and I am debating. I know this is a 24-hour reading vlog, sort of, which does beg the question if I should now read until 6 p.m. tomorrow, or 5:30, 6 p.m. tomorrow, since I started late. We'll see. But I'm kind of thinking that I want to take a gummy and watch a movie. I should start my next book, which is going to be the Lily Vale. But I want to say Hit Me With Your Best Shot. I know that's not right at all. How close am I? Hit Me With Your Best Charm. Okay, I wasn't that far off. And let's take a gander what this thinks. This is not a finished book. I mean, it's coming out soon though, so it probably is. $12.99 in the US. Is that the normal price for a YA paperback? I'm not mad about it. That just seems cheap. You know what? I wonder if that's the Kindle price. Oh, no. Oh my God. Okay, that was such an overreaction, and I'm so sorry. I just figured this is middle grade, which, okay, let me back up. There is nothing wrong with middle grade. I have enjoyed many a middle grade as a middle grade and as an adult. It is totally fine for me to read and enjoy a middle grade book. That's not the problem. I had requested this arc because I loved her adult spicy romance. And so I was already a little upset that this was going to be a YA romance and therefore was not going to have the spice. And now it's a middle grade romance. It's just, oh my God. I still trust that this will be a cute story. I trust Lily Vale to tell a good story. And I am excited that it's sapphic. And I'm excited for the middle grade kids that this is a sapphic romance. Like, all of that's great. It's just my expectations have changed completely. Although I will now read this faster than I originally anticipated. Learning reading speed. I was going to see how long it estimated. 1 minute left in chapter. Okay, well, she is saying it's YA, but it's grades 7 and up and 12 and up. I would put that in middle grade, but we'll see. We'll see how old the protagonists are. I just wanted to see how long they thought it was going to take me, but now you're not going to do it because I'm on camera. I'm not going to read. Wait. They currently think it'll take me 3.5 hours to finish this book, so I definitely will not be finishing tonight. However, I have been clicking the buttons a lot, so that 3.5 is not completely accurate. Does it tell me how many pages are in it? It does not. Okay, so my thoughts are, because I only have about an hour or so left of waking time in me right now, I am thinking of just getting cozy, watching a movie, taking a gummy, probably falling asleep on the couch, and then going to bed, and then reading for like, if I wake up at 8, and then 8 hours after that would be 6 o'clock. So if I basically, I could get through like 2 books tomorrow. The Lily Vale for sure, and then another thriller. And that would be almost half of my TBR. And granted, I could try and breeze through the Lily Vale tonight and just like stay up till midnight, and then attempt to read 2 more tomorrow. I'm not sure. You will know before I do. That's inherently false. But you will know by the time you're watching this, this is why I need to go to bed. Anyway, look how cute my princess is. If you don't know, that's Stormy. That's the gray cat. That's probably obvious because her name is Stormy. My other cat, Nugget, who is the princess, the main character, she's sleeping over there. You can't see her. She's in a chair. She's the black one. That name is not as obvious. But she's gonna cry. Oh, she saw me come in, so she didn't. She always chirps when I startle her. Okay. Anyway, I'll probably check in the morning unless I read tonight. Do you see the disrespect? Okay, hi. I finished another book. It is also now 3:30 on Saturday. So in terms of like 24 hours, I kind of am done, in that it has been 24 hours since I started this and I finished 2 books, which is great. Since I didn't really start reading until about 6 o'clock, I'm still going. I'm gonna finish today. I know I called this 24 hours. We're going, it's really like, I was gonna say 18, that's less. I was doing like 30 hours, but that's okay. All right, so what happened? Okay, I finished Hit Me With Your Best Charm by Lily Vale. And after all of the chaos last night of trying to figure out what this book was, I was wrong on almost every front. It was sapphic, that part was true. It contained romance, but I would not call this a romance. It was far more a coming of age story, and it was also definitely YA and not middle grade. I do realize that YA could extend to 12 years old in like 7th grade. My reasoning yesterday for saying it might be middle grade was because I felt like 12 could go on either side. I don't think I've ever seen the specific like age range that people say YA is. I guess maybe it starts at 12. I was thinking it started at 13 or 14 for like high school, but whatever, it's fine. So it was YA, which is great. And the general gist is when our protagonist Nova was a small child, by which I mean she was 10, her dad basically broke a promise to her and was like, hey, I can't do this thing that we had planned. I have to go on like an excursion through the woods. And he's like, but when I get back, you know, I will take you and do all these things. Well, Nova, being 10, was really upset about that and basically tells her dad, like, if you do this, never come back. I never want to see you again. Like, you know, just typical angry kid stuff. Well, then her dad doesn't come back. And so we pick up 7 years after that. And not Lily, that's the author. Nova still blames herself for her dad's disappearance, even though she obviously had nothing to do with it. The story basically says that the town that they live in kind of has magic, but there isn't like witches. It's not, I would say it's more magical realism than like a magical story. Like if you want something like Harry Potter or like Legendborn, like anything that has magic in it, this is not going to fulfill that need. There's just kind of some passive magic in the town, but there's no one like actively casting magic. But there is supposedly this magic wishing well deep in the woods that one man has found, and everyone is always searching for it. So Nova is trying to find it on her own in secret so she can bring her dad back. And while she's kind of on that journey, her mom basically tells her that like, hey, my friend Aurora, the town psychic, well, she's not really the town psychic, she only comes in the fall, but it's fine. She says, Aurora is helping me move on. Like, I think it's time for us to have him declared legally dead so that, like, as hard as that is to accept, there is benefits to him being declared legally dead. They can finally get his inheritance, or not his inheritance, his life insurance. And Nova, when she goes to college, will be able to use the fact that she is a single parent, single income kid to help her financially with college. So the mom is ready to kind of move forward, and Nova's just not there yet. So her goal is now to take down the town psychic. And so when she sneaks into the tent, her, like, the town popular girl / she's not a mean girl, but like the two of them don't get along. And so Kiara comes in with her boyfriend, and Nova's hidden. Nova pretends to be the town psychic, and she ends up cursing Kiara. And so the rest of the story, and that all happens within the first 25%. And so the story then follows Nova, Kiara, and Kiara's friends on a journey through the woods to find this magic wishing well. Now, Kiara doesn't know that Nova is the one who cursed her. She just knows that she used to have really good luck, and now her luck is not only bad, it's almost fatal. So she is desperately trying to find this wishing well because she does not think she has another choice. Like, she genuinely feels her luck will kill her, and it genuinely almost does. And Nova's going because not only does she feel horrible that she caused that, like, yeah, she has some issues with Kiara, but she never ever truly meant to curse her. Like, she just thought she was being cheeky, being like, you know, she was having fun while being a little mean. And she did not know that this was going to have such consequences. But the secondary effect is if she finds the well, she can wish for her dad back. And so the whole story is just like a bit of a found family, coming of age and growing up, and like just accepting the reality that's in front of you, learning how to rely on people, learning how to trust people, learning to not blame yourself for things you have no control over, and just not carrying the weight and the guilt. I think that's a really big thing, especially for people who lose loved ones unexpectedly, and perhaps their last interactions weren't positive because you didn't know, of course, that they were your last interactions. And it's really easy to beat yourself up over that. And I really liked how this journey explored Nova's guilt over everything that she felt she had done. And this kind of lasting message about how your words carry weight and your words have consequences. I think that was a really nice thing that Lily wove throughout the entire story. On top of all of that, it's a racially diverse book. It's an LGBTQ book. It's just this beautiful story with a very rich cast of characters. And it was fun. I fully expected it to be just like a breezy YA romance, and it had a lot more depth than that. And the romance was really a secondary factor. It has a romance, and the romance is important, but like this entire story, I think, would have played out almost exactly the same without the romance, which is the only reason I say that is just because therefore I don't classify it as a romance. It just... It's like a magical realism fantasy, very light fantasy story that contains a romance. But if you're looking for a romance, I don't think this is it. But I do recommend it. And if you like spicy, I really enjoyed Lily's adult novel, Wrapped with a Bow. That's a very cute, Christmassy, spicy romance. I enjoyed that a lot. That was good. I gave that 4 stars. I really liked it. And now I might take a nap. I haven't decided. It's 3:30, so it feels like it's getting too late in the day to take a nap, but I kind of feel like I'm gonna stay up late tonight. So my next book, I have 2 that are under 300 pages, so those are the top 2 on my list. Also, one of them is the next one with an upcoming due date. So the 2 choices are What Hunger or With Friends Like These. With Friends Like These is a thriller and is slightly shorter, and What Hunger is, I think, like 280 pages, and it's a horror. I'm leaning more towards the horror, but the 240 of With Friends Like These feels like I could finish it faster. So I think what I'm going to do is read the first chapter of both and then move on and see what I want to read. What a bad way to end this vlog. So I started both What Hunger and With Friends Like These, and I decided to do With Friends Like These because I thought I could read it faster, and I did because I was skimming it because I didn't like it. I gave it 2 stars. I feel awful because it's a debut. It just wasn't good. So the general gist is a group of 6 friends went to Harvard together. They invented this game where they basically had like, I think they're BB guns. The fake guns that look real, but they have the orange tip. Is that a BB gun? I think that's what it is. And for like a week, they spend like just hiding from each other, like pulling shenanigans to shoot each other. And everyone has a target. So once you shoot your target, you then have to shoot your target's target, you know? And so like they have this whole game and they promise to keep playing it for like the rest of their lives, so long as all of them are in on it. Like if one person said no, the game was off. That's one plot line going on. And then the other is that while they were in college, one of the 6 fell out of their window and died. And of course, the roommates were persons of interest, and like there was some drama there. But, you know, they all steadfastly remain that they had nothing to do with her accident. It was just an accident. So we're now 20 years into the future. These women are in their 40s, and the protagonist that we're following, she has decided, I'm done with the game. We're in our 40s. We cannot just be running around New York City pretending to shoot each other when people are getting shot every day. Like, that's not a good look on our part, and we're gonna get arrested for this shit. Like, we can't do this anymore. Because, like, they play in public. It isn't like laser tag. So she goes to like their little friend meeting to like discuss the next round. They call the game the circus. So she goes to the pre-circus meeting basically, and one of the friends is like, hey, by the way, remember how we put money into a pool when this all started? And we said in the final game, the winner takes all. That pool is almost $1 million. So of course, then they all agree to play one last game to get the money. And all of that fantastic setup. You know, they're playing a fake game for real money. Stakes are high. It was so boring. This book takes place over the course of a week for the most part. And nothing happens. And then when something happens, I feel like we're on the outside of it. Like, every time there is potentially something with action, there's just nothing. And I would say that I don't have all the answers, but I probably do. I just could not finish, like, reading it word for word. Like, I literally was skimming. I was so bored. I truthfully can't recommend it. I can't. I think the premise is good. Like, I would be willing to give this author another try, just because I do think that she has a solid grasp of like the story she wants to tell. Like, I think the idea is there. I currently don't like her execution, but I do feel like that could change. She isn't one I'm necessarily going to keep an eye on. Like, I don't anticipate like looking for her next book to read. Obviously, I mean, this one's not even out yet, so it'll be like at least another year or two. But like, if I came across her again and the plot sounded interesting, I would be willing to try again. But right now, no. She's a no. But I say this because sometimes like I'll read a book and I'm like, I'm never touching that author again. Or I'll read something and I can say, okay, this book wasn't for me, but I liked X, Y, and Z, so I know that this author could be for me, just like this story wasn't. And then of course, there is I read this book and I hate it with every fiber of my being, and I cannot ever touch another book by this author again. That one's more rare, admittedly. Weirdly, Stephen King's on that list. Don't come for me. It should be noted, these are all my opinions. It's not me saying no one else should read them. That's just how I feel. I won't read Stephen King again. Anyway, I have read 3 books in about 26 and a half hours, honestly. And that doesn't include all of the time that I was sleeping, that I was just not reading, that someday I think I want to do a proper 24-hour challenge. I say proper. I guess it really depends on if you're familiar with the 2 ways people do 24-hour vlogs. There is the 9 a.m. to 9 a.m. vlog where they... Oh, fuck. What's in my eye? Oh, my God. I think it's an eyelash. It just really got irritated, though. But yeah, like, there's the 9 to 9 vlogs where you stay up for 24 hours and just see how much you can read in that time. But I would be functionally useless unless all of my post midnight books were graphic novels, because I will not be able to read after a certain point. I would get way too tired. I would be cranky. And I'd also have to do it where I start in the middle of the night, because I would have to be able to go to bed. Like, because if I stopped at 9 a.m. and then still had to like survive the rest of the day, like, none of that's gonna happen. So I probably will never do that, but also never say never. So my opinion of a proper 24-hour reading vlog is where you take a like 3-day period, and I mean, I guess you could do it however you want, but the idea would be to do it in a short span of time, and you keep a timer and you just read for 24 hours to see how many pages and books you can fit into 24 literal hours, even if it's not 24 consecutive hours. So I do actually want to do one of those, because I frequently, like, it's a glare on my glasses pissing anyone else off, or just me. But I frequently feel like I don't have the mental ability to finish a book in a day, or like when I'm like, oh man, I have like this many pages, like it's gonna take me a couple of days. Like I psych myself out a lot, and forcing myself to read 3 books in 26 hours actually reminded me that I can do that. I mean, I would even go so far to say 2.5 books. Like, if you really want to get nitpicky on my my skimming, but like, and that was not to finish the book in a certain amount of time. It was just because I could not. I probably honestly would have DNF'd the book if it wasn't an arc and I wasn't doing this vlog. So skimming it was the only way I was gonna finish. So if I did another like proper count the minutes 24-hour vlog, I would also probably be willing to DNF books for that, because I wouldn't be reading ARCs for that. But anyway, this was fun. I'm glad that I pushed myself for this. Despite ending on a sour note, and I know I've said this, that my reading month has been so bad, but the previous 2 books were actually good, and I enjoyed them, and they met my expectations, and I had a good time. And I also feel so much better because I only have, what is it, 4 outstanding ARCs now? That just like, that feels so good. Like, to finally feel caught up. Mark is red. Yep, I've got 4 more, one of which is in progress, and the one that I'm behind on, like that came out like 2 months ago, I actually have the audiobook on hold with the library, so I'm probably gonna just do that when I get that. Are you excited for any of these ARCs? Let me know. Sorry to anyone who saw the beginning of this and was hoping I was gonna read Bunny. I'm afraid to read that one. I'm excited, but I'm afraid. It's 500 pages. And I don't feel like Bunny needed a sequel. But I'm still excited to see where it goes. But anyway, maybe I'll do a vlog for that. We'll see. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys are all taking care of yourselves, and I will see you guys in the future. Bye.